Zarnik, he looks to be more of a finisher, but it almost feels that Ryan has a more of a needed role on the team than Zarnik does.
Yeah, Ryan's a bit more of a complete player.
Yeah.
So that helps him out. And I guess the big story from the Chicago game was my boy, Mike Smith.
Big save!
That was a lot of the chatter on the message boards. There was one comment that said, "Thank God Smith had a game because the defense forgot how to hockey." And you guys, there was that save in the third period. The scorpion leg shot up there and knocked a puck down.
Flail.
Yeah.
The haphazard, lucky as hell flail, but looked nice as hell.
If Mike Smith's not flailing, I get worried. So, maybe that's the key. The more he flails, the more he saves.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I think he stopped his shot. It felt like he was going right to his chest. And he flailed out his arms and looked really weird.
Yeah, there's a few times where he's falling forward, but it seems to be working for him, at least the last couple games. So the goals that are going in that are weak ones are actually a lot under the arm or between the arm and the body. So it seems more when he's upright and trying to do traditional goaltending is when they start to squeak through him. When he's flailing around, they just hit his body.
Mike Smith. All right. The prior to the Chicago game was the LA, and like I said, I thought these games against LA, Chicago were just write-offs for wins. But that LA game seemed to be a bit of a struggle as well. LA was trying hard to crack down on their offense, and the game was pretty bad. I mean, Rick Ball called it. This game is terrible.
Yeah, it was not a game where you think about all the great exciting moments at the end. It's more like, okay, thank God we got the win, and I'll hope for some entertainment next time.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, mid-season, November, it's December now. The lulls.
It's not even the lull, because Columbus was a fantastic game. Chicago was pretty decent. It's just LA is a lull. They know they can't score, and they're just they're hoping for the 2-1 win or the 1-0 win. But I have to say, one thing about LA is their goalie Pedersen. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He looked like a bona fide NHL goalie.
Yeah, taking over for Quick once he stepped down, I imagine. Yeah. So LA set themselves up for some pretty awesome goaltending further down the stretch.
Yeah,
and good on them.
If I was a team who needed a goalie, that's where I'd be going. Either trying to get Quick out of there, who you maybe had to pry Quick out because of he's been injury prone, and LA does not look like they'll be a contender for the next few years. Or maybe you get lucky and they're willing to move Pedersen. A young up-and-coming goalie. But if I was a team, even like the Flames, who may need a goalie, that's somewhere I'd look.
These veteran goalie struggles is pretty common throughout Canadian teams. I think we covered this last time, but it just kind of puts Mike Smith into perspective that is more of an issue or less of an issue than everyone's making it out to be.
Yeah, I was listening to some sports radio, and they were commenting on other goalies who were struggling, and Mike Smith wasn't that far off in the stats. They mentioned Martin Jones for San Jose and Price, yeah. So, yeah, it definitely, sometimes in the local market, the Flames get fanned, and the tire fire seems bigger than it is. But, as a non-Smith fan, it's easy to get worked up when you see him doing the snow angel on the ice.
Yeah, man. I love his play with the puck, though. Whenever the opponents dump it in and he comes out, he makes the risky passes, but he just provides like a whole new level of breakout possibilities for the Flames, and I'll get behind that. I'll let Mike Smith give up some garbage to have that kind of possibility on the breakout.
You know what I've noticed though is like the local commentators in Calgary or sports radio in Calgary, they always say, "Oh, Smith, he's so great at playing the puck. Like this is a great benefit." But when I watch the games, a lot of time I watch the away feed. So when the Flames are in Phoenix or in Chicago, I'll watch those announcers, and they say, "Oh, Smith, gives the puck
Likes
away.
to play the puck."
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, teams recognize that there's going to be the chance for a giveaway, but more often than not, they're making a decent breakout because of him playing it, or he'll get an assist on the goal.
And I have noticed this year more than last year. Last year it felt like he was improvising a lot with the puck. Where this year, I think maybe the coaching staff has told him, you can play the puck, but it's a system. You got to do that breakout pass. Because I see him get it behind the net, and he has two options. One is up to the winger, and one is into the corner to the D-man. And he kind of makes the decision, which is nice because there are times he gets wandering. It can be a little scary.
Yeah, that's when your heart skips a beat. Like, oh, is this going to be the time Smith fucks it up? No, not this time.
And there was one comment I wanted to read to you, get your opinion on it. It's from the Chicago game, but it's a little more general. It's from Earl Grey Hot Tea, and he says, "Is it me, or does Cassie Campbell look like she's about to leave Kevin home alone?"
Explain.
Are you a fan of the Home Alone movies?
I know the Home Alone.
Well, do you remember the mom?
Oh man,
Cassie Campbell is like morphing into Kevin's mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I totally see it. Good point out.
Yes. So every Christmas I love to watch Home Alone. So it
me too. I never saw Cassie Campbell yelling Kevin, but maybe next time.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm on the road, but it's good to be keeping track of the hockey. We got the Flames against Minnesota coming up next.
That's the next one.
Yeah. Minnesota's always a tough barn. What's your prediction here?
Well, Bruce Boudreau, he's like the Scotty Bowman of the regular season. So, Minnesota will perform well.
Cool down this 3-game win streak.
Yeah, I'm going to predict like a loss, but we'll get a point. So it'll be an overtime loss or a shootout loss.
If you're predicting loss, does that mean you're predicting Smith is starting?
I think Smith will start, but I don't think if we just revisit the goaltending quickly, a goalie like Riddick plays, let's say 10 games fairly well, has an off night. I think the team owes it to him to give him a start soon. So we see Riddick against Minnesota and Smith against Nashville, which is the next game.
Yeah. Yeah, those Preds are a little banged up. And Flames have a decent record on playing the Preds, but when they're at their prime, man, they're a devastating team.
Yeah, they're one of the cup contenders, probably. Nashville, Winnipeg, Tampa Bay. So they're one of the top 5 teams, so it'll be a tough match.
Cool. Hey, before we close out, I've been wondering about this Buffalo. They won on this hot 9-game win streak, but they're following it up so far with a 4-game losing streak, which leads me to the question: is it worth it? I mean, why can't you just win two, lose? I mean, you pretty much end up in the same place, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and that's sometimes you hear people say like it all evens out in the end, or you have a win streak because you make up for a losing streak later, but you're always going to take it. You're not going to tell the team lose the third one so we can get more consistency.
No, it's not that, but like, man, they were looking hot, and they come off that win streak and just dropping games. You're like, ooh, maybe I don't know. It's tough to say with Buffalo. They do look like a strong team. They made some sweet acquisitions over the offseason, so it'll be interesting to see how they end up. But they're dropping the standing.
I'm just looking at here Buffalo's schedule. So of the 4 losses, 1 was Tampa.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good team. 1 was Florida. So okay, maybe that's a winnable game. And then the last 2 were Nashville and Toronto. So even though they've lost 4 in a row,
banged up Nashville.
It's still Nashville. So I guess my point is, of the 4 games, 3 of the teams are elite teams. So
true that. Good catch there. All their losses come off some pretty elite teams.
Yeah. But yeah.
There's a lot of parity in the NHL. It does feel like anyone can win on any night.
Yeah, definitely. So before you head out, should we do a impromptu great balls?
Great balls. All right, I'll let you start this one.
I'll give mine to Sean Monahan. I thought he had
4 points.
Yeah, 4-point night, and he played really good. So during that game, he was the guy I noticed the most. So I'll give it to him.
All right. For me, I'm taking my boy TJ Brody.
Oh,
Not
the
only he's
Broadster.
been stepping up his play, but he pocketed a nice one in on. He had the game-winning goal. He had the difference-making goal, the seventh the Flames goal. So I salute you. We were bagging on Brody hard at the beginning of the season, and he just turned it around.
Yeah. Okay, well, enjoy your road trip, and I guess you'll be back next week to do this in person.
Yeah, next time we'll hit the studio, come in fresh.
That sounds good.
All right.
Bye. So this is Comment Board Heroes. So in this segment, we go through the message boards, different posts, all, different dark depths of the internet, and we find the best comments of the week. So let's start with probably the biggest news in the NHL this week. On Saturday, everyone was watching, especially Leafs fans were probably sitting on pins and needles, seeing what happened with Michael Nylander. There was a 5 p.m. Eastern deadline for him to sign. And as a restricted free agent, if he didn't sign by 5 o'clock, then, he couldn't play for the whole season. So that, would have been a lose-lose for both the Leafs and for William Nylander. But about 10 minutes before the deadline, it was announced that a deal had been reached and Nylander was going to play. So the details of the deal was a 6-year deal. The first year, he has a cap hit of about $10.3 million, and then years 2 to 6, he's got a cap hit of $6.9 million. So my takeaway from it is the first year, he really didn't give up any money for holding out. It's the 10.3, he only gets paid from the game he signed to the end of the year, which equals $6.9 million. So really, he gets $6.9 million a year for the next 6 years. And it was more money than the Leafs initially offered. So holding out till the last minute worked for him. So I would say it's a small victory for Nylander, but overall the Leafs and Nylander both, they're both winners. One gets paid, one gets a great player. So some of the comments on this subject, P.S. Chris33 wrote, "So, Dubis, it's just like me in uni, committing my code and uploading my papers at 11:57 p.m. Yeah, that's